Welcome back, Mr. Goodberry. The First Star Logistics studio is fully equipped and ready to record.
Welcome back to Bengals On The Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. I'm your host, Joe Goodberry. The Bengals pulled it off. The Thursday night, big game, big moment. They're in a situation where they had to win, must-win game, with Joe Flacco only being in the building for 9 days. And maybe they were right. Maybe they were correct on going out and getting Flacco, who many thought was, we've thought Flacco's been spent for 5 years now, cooked, washed, whatever you kids are saying. But he still finds a way to have a few games in him. He won Comeback Player of the Year in 2023. I didn't think he deserved it. Not the point. 2025 now. Didn't start off so hot for him. Second half for the Packers, pretty good. And then an offensive explosion on Thursday Night Football featuring one of the best games we've ever gotten out of Ja'Marr Chase. And we're talking about arguably, and we believe it, but the best receiver in football. And setting records, as he said he would the first day the Bengals drafted him. I'm going to break every record they have over there in Cincinnati. Well, he has, and he's breaking his own records now. And he's on pace to have everything when his career is done. And we're going to have a top 10 games or moments for Ja'Marr Chase, and it's going to be stacked, packed full of memorable games, and this is going to be one of them. It was hilariously dominant. And the Bengals are now 3-4 with a chance to go 4-4 against the New York Jets. Ring of Honor game this Sunday coming up. But the Ja'Marr Chase game is the one I keep thinking of. The Ja'Marr Chase film, the Ja'Marr Chase Thursday night performance is the one where I want to go and want to say, hey, this is our film review every week. We don't get too many chances to do Ja'Marr Chase. Why? Because we're interested in these other players. We know Ja'Marr is great, but sometimes you do need to go, you know what? Let's watch the best player they have and see what makes him so good. Make sure because I see other fans in these comments too. Make sure you guys know what you're looking at here. Don't disrespect Ja'Marr Chase. He is that good. We've had some amazing receivers in Cincinnati. Ja'Marr might be the best. In fact, when I did the 100 greatest Bengals, this is my thought Thursday night afterwards, Friday morning. We did the 100 greatest Bengals series, right? Anthony Munoz is number 1. Kenny Anderson is number 2. And I started to think, where could Ja'Marr end up? Could he be a 10-plus time Pro Bowler, multiple time All-Pro? Yeah. He's on that pace again. He's got a triple crown, Rookie of the Year, was dominant in that playoffs and Super Bowl run. He had the best rookie season we've ever seen from a receiver. And you may say, well, Puka Nacua had 1,500 yards. He didn't go to the playoffs and carry his team to the Super Bowl and almost win that game and should have won that game. That's a whole nother level. Could he end up number 1 at the end? Games like this go a long way where the other team looks like they want to stop you. They have spent money at corner. They have drafted corners. They have done whatever they could on the defensive side, especially defensive backs. And they can't touch you. They can't, even if they want, and they did want to, but they couldn't do anything. And you have that kind of performance. Let's roll the tape. Let's see what it looked like. So hilariously, we get 23 targets for Ja'Marr Chase in this game. And that's why I called it, because at points it was so dominant, I'm just laughing that he catches another slant for another 8 to 10 yards or an out route for 15, and there's no one near him. And there are plays, too. I posted one on Twitter on X at Joe Goodberry where he doesn't get targeted, and it's wow. He's killing them, and he's not getting targeted. I think the Bengals realized pretty quickly what they had to do. But this is going to give us a chance to look at some of the route concepts, what they're doing, right? And get an idea of how the Steelers played them. People are asking, what was the difference in the scheme? How much better did the offensive line play? We'll get to that. And I don't know if we'll have answers completely, and you'll see why. It's a lot of the same stuff. Just Flacco processing better, quicker, and the receivers being dominant. And now I will start with Ja'Marr Chase in a bunch set here with, I want to say Noah Fant, Yoshi, and then Ja'Marr is at the top of it. And we got 23 targets, so we've got to move with some quickness. And basically what we're doing here is a nice man beater. Because they were bunched up, I should have probably started with that, to be honest with you. Since they were bunched up, let's do that. What you end up with is a guy right on top right here, a guy right on top right here. But anytime you're condensed, so let's say you're not out wide like T is, and you're more inside the numbers like Jamar is here, you basically get to be used like a slot receiver. And NFL offenses are doing this all over. It's why Jackson Smith and Jigba can play outside receiver. It's why Amon-Ra St. Brown can play outside receivers. They are slot guys, but they can win on the outside. Khalil Shakir, same thing, because you're condensing them and pulling them in. And what it does is it takes the corner off of you and puts you outside. It puts him, look how far off he is, and he's shaded outside because he's still got to play his responsibility, right? If we're end up in some type of zone defense, and I don't know what they're playing, but you each got to get to your spot. So he's shaded outside, and we know this. And what we're going to do is say, okay, inside guys, cause traffic and have Jamar Chase run a slant behind you. It's a simple man beater in order to get him open. And it's what you should do with your number one receiver. And the Bengals do it pretty well with Jamar. Zach Taylor, if you want to give him credit for anything, he knows ways to just funnel targets to his best option to give him the best chance to move the offense. So let's watch it here as both Yoshi and Fant pretty much looking like they want to block for Jamar, right? Of course they do, right? Everyone knows where the ball is going. So Flacco gets that back foot and hits it and throws it. Now, this is a really great play by the free safety. When he sees exactly what's going on, watch how fast he triggers and comes down the middle of the field. Bam, he knows right away, right? You see that? Catch, boom, doesn't let a thing happen. Because if, let's say that safety's still hanging around, not really processing what's going on, Jamar is ripping this thing upfield right there. And he's probably got a blocker here. I mean, that's a big play waiting to happen. Instead, this only goes for 2 yards. So a great concept, gets him open. Tip of the hat to, I think it was Juan Thornhill at safety, a guy I've always liked and was very high on when he came out. And then, in his time with the Chiefs as well. He's a good processor and a good athlete. So watching up front, good protection. We are going to check in on the protection and see how Flacco played, how the offensive line played as well. But again, only goes for 2 yards, but the concept is sound. The idea is sound, and they executed it well. We have a quarterback under center. I love to point it out. We've got motion with the tight end. They fake a pitch right there, right? You had a puller, and I want to say that was OBJ. You've got Orlando Brown Jr. You've got Drew Sample in motion pulling, and we've got a pitch, or at least to look like a pitch. You know who the worst linebacker in the AFC North is? It's Patrick Queen. Every time I watch him, he stinks, and he is running. Like, he believes he's going for this thing. They're running this pitch, and he is gone. You want to know what's going on with the Steelers defense? I think I'm going to end up pointing him out 20 times in 23 targets here. I'm not serious. But the eyes we should be looking at, our guy, is Amarius Mims. Getting out in front, blocking for Jamar Chase. We got a screen on the backside. So I like this play. I like this concept. I like this call. I like getting Mims, and he's your most athletic dude. Let's get him out in space a little bit more often. They try to use him like he's some big physical blocker. We've known now he's not. Let him get out in space and put hands on a DB. That sounds great. He can do that. So I like that. That's a solid gain of 8, an extension of your run game. Jamar Chase is very often an extension of the run game. Let's watch Mims here and see what his task is to get out in space here. Because the Bengals are a pretty poor screen team. So everyone's got to fake this way, right? Everyone's got to make it look like they're actually going this way. And you see Mims do that, which is really going to get Jack Sawyer to say, oh, this is a run because of the horizontal step. And then he releases. Sawyer just misses that, and Mims gets out in front to be an athlete, which he is. So a successful screen, an extension of the run. If we put screens into the run game, the Bengals will still be pretty bad, in terms of that, because they're not a great screen team. But overall, if you look around the league, that's how teams are using it. All right, we're under center. So we're throwing again from under center. Play action. We've got cover 1 with man free. That's what I meant to say. We only got 3 deep players here for 2 routes for the Bengals. We've got T and Jamar. And we are max protecting. You want to know what a difference is that the Bengals are doing right now for Joe Flacco? This is one of them. This is a play I would highlight and say they are max protecting and really trying to give Flacco as much space as possible. And Jamar breaks this thing off. He stumbles a little bit coming out and coming clean, or else this is more likely a big play waiting to happen if he makes a guy miss. I think the throw is just off a little bit. Jamar normally catches that, so it is what it is. But if you watch the front up front, if you watch the line up front, some of the things they're doing more. We're under center. We're having play action. What does that do to the linebackers and Ramsey and Queen, right? And I can't see who that is. Maybe Wilson, Peyton Wilson. That sucked them up, man. How often do the Bengals get this? Where they have just sucked everyone up, including Jalen Ramsey here, and there is nothing in the second level of the field. The Bengals don't get this ever. They truly believe they were going to run that ball. And then the ball comes out just a little high and hot, hits dude right in the face, 23 in the face right there. I think it's Slay. I think Flacco could have probably had a little more touch on some of these intermediate throws. I think for play action, his numbers were not good. There were dudes open all day on play action. So credit to the offensive staff of pulling that together. I'm going to go back here. We got Jamar for the first time now pretty much isolated on the outside with no trickery. There's no motion. There's no quarterback under center and play action. There's no bunch or condensed formation, right? So outside, he's got to win one-on-one. And right at the snap, you see a safety walk down. The Steelers played a lot of single high safety against the Bengals. And when you do that, the ball's going to be thrown to the outside to Jamar and T. So if you want to play single high against them, fine. You want to give Flacco a full 5 to 7 step drops on these plays, fine. They will eat that all day long. And what they'll do is they'll hook up in your zones because it rotated into a cover 2. So as I started to say, like, you want to do that, fine. But watch Slay, if you're aware. Slay's going to drop back and be that cover 2 guy as this safety goes to here. So watch the rotation there. Jamar's going to see it now. You get this whole grouping of players in the middle here as Noah Fant comes across their face. And watch how both T and Jamar are going to hook up in these windows. And this from the end zone angle, like that ball's out now and it's flying. It's a rocket right to him in the window. You have to process that pretty quickly. Jamar has to see it. Flacco has to see it. And they settle down pretty nicely. The Amazon Prime had the angle from behind, which I had a real good time with that Prime Vision. I don't know if you guys watched that one. But good pickup by the offensive line as a whole here. Everyone's doing their job. Thing is clean and clear. That ball goes right through Hayward's hands, and it's a laser to Jamar. I mean, it's pitch and catch at that point with the arm that Flacco has. He could just rifle that in there. He doesn't have to have perfect timing or mechanics a lot of times because his arm still is pretty lively at 40 years old. All right, again, I want to say this could be a package play where you've got Jamar just going to fan out his little screen pass here, but you also have motion or looking action that would look like a pitch play or a toss, maybe a wheel route. Not a wheel, a little swing pass, I wanted to say. The way Sample fans out in front here, I think this could be that kind of quasi screen that we've seen. Tight end lead screen, I've been calling it. But when you get off coverage the way they do, so let's go back. Let's worry about Jamar. When you get off coverage like this, you're going to... The Bengals used to do this with A.J. Green all the time and Andy Dalton. You want to be off? Fine, that ball's coming to you. And we get a bobble. We had like 4 balls that Jamar probably could have caught and caught cleanly and ended up not catching them. But concentration and made that guy miss while catching it. I laughed at this play when it happened too, because I was like, this is our first sign that Jamar was feeling it, because even on a bad play, he was able to still make something happen and get it after the catch. But there were a couple, and we're going to see a couple here, where I thought Jamar could have easily, cleanly caught them and did not. I think this may be one of them. We got Jamar in the slot here. I love when they go, all right, T, you're outside, Jamar in the slot. Like, to me, that's the plan. And for Yoshi, too, if you get Yoshi condensed, that helps him get open as well. So I like when I see formations like this. The only guy I really am not, it's Drew Sample, and he had one of his best games. But, like, even when I watched all his blocks, it was whatever. But he got pressed across, and Jamar's just going to run a slant on it. I mean, I don't think Ramsey athletically can stay with Jamar, especially not anymore. Physically, if he wants to, like, get physical with him. We saw what happens eventually on the touchdown. But for the most part, if he wants to do this, it's a free win off the line and a throw. It's a good job by the safety to dislodge it. So Clark, I thought had a good game as well. I thought the safeties for the most part had good games for the Steelers. Let's watch the protection up front because I want to point out, I think here 95 is Benton. I think Benton ends up with the pressure and he just beats Rivers across his face. Did you see it? I don't know if you took your eyes off it right there. The ball's already out, so whatever. But ball gets knocked out of Jamar's hand there by the safety. So 2 plays in a row there where he's kind of bobbling it. And they're going to go right back to him. If you remember, they come right back to it. You got a press situation with Jamar. Condensed again. We're condensed. The Bengals have really upped their percentage of condensed. They used to just put Joe Burrow in the shotgun and line their guys out wide and have a guy in the slot. And it's just maybe a 3-by-1 and even put the running back out there in the slot. They have gone way more condensed, which I think is a good thing. Way more motion than recently. You bring a guy in like this, it makes me think you're running the ball. And the way, this is a play action throw, in my opinion. I don't think this counted. I think it is because they are show and run here. I wouldn't be surprised if this is an RPO by the way the offensive line. Yeah, the offensive line blocks forward. Wouldn't you say they would? Yeah, I think it's an RPO. That Flacco says, all right, if you get that press with a free outside release, we're throwing this ball to Jamar. And he does here. And let's watch Jamar's route at the line. Just a little shake, and then he realizes, oh, the ball is coming. And Ramsey needs to get off of me and throws him off. Ramsey thought he was getting offensive pass interference. He's out of his mind. You cannot initiate contact, and then when the receiver gets you off of him, you ask for a flag. No, it doesn't work that way. You have just as much right as a receiver to make contact as the DB does. If the DB wants to start making contact with you, you have the right to get him off of you. I hate when I see it because the Steelers fans have complained a lot this week about flags. You cannot be the bully or try to be the aggressor or the initiator. And when the other team reacts and throws you down, you can't cry about it. You guys are soft, fake, tough guys. It's what this game looked like. Normally, the Steelers are tough dudes, right? That's their whole mindset. It's their whole game plan. We got off coverage across on the outside here. Yoshi in the slot. Jamar's down at the bottom with off coverage. And we got to speed out as they rotate Slay back there. So I think they saw this last time and said, okay, if we end up with Slay really bailing out, I don't care if he's rotating to a cover 2 or if it's more of a cover 3. If he's bailing out this fast and getting away because he knows Jamar will cook him down the field, Slay was backing out of there very, very quickly. So watch Flacco now. Flacco's already at the top of his drop, and he is throwing it right now. So the timing for Flacco, excellent. Jamar is just now breaking, and his head's not even around yet. And that ball is, I think here, I think that little dot is the ball because it's moving fast. Bang. I mean, we did out routes. We did passing game offense. We did Flacco film review last week against Packers. The out routes were insane. I love this dude on the sideline here. Who is that? He is feeling it. I'm with him. But the out route timing from Flacco was tremendous. And we got good protection all across. Hayward's jumping. Reisner's trying to punish him. Ended up not being a catch, by the way. That was reversed, which is a whole conversation to me. If you have played receiver, if you have caught 10,000 balls in your life, you know that's a catch. That was judged by people who have not done this. Because once you pluck that ball, and I'm going to go on a rant here. Maybe Dave Burke can pull up the replay for me while I'm going on a rant here, my producer, because I don't have it available. But once you pluck the ball, it is now caught and in your possession. It is different from a double catch where it's like you got to slap it and then catch it. Everyone's been there. But when you pluck it and then you adjust your hands to bring it in, that is not losing possession of the ball. Your possession is when you pluck that thing and it sticks. When it sticks to your gloves and your hands, it is now under your control and your possession. Any forward movement is just the inertia that the ball has absorbed once it's part of you. And to me, when you pluck it, it becomes part of you. And any readjustment from there is not loss of possession or loss of control. And I think when they see that, I'm just not with it. It's why it's the hardest thing for officials to get correct, even on replays, because I don't think they've been in that situation enough. Go play catch, and if you're really good at catching the ball, you know what I'm talking about at the very least. Anyways, Ja'Marr Chase in motion into the slot. I like it. Put him and T on the same side. You get Jalen Ramsey. It's got inside leverage here. So I'm assuming Jamar's going to take this to the out, and he does. Anytime you want to give him that inside leverage, and basically this safety over the top is watching for anything to the outside, but you're too late. It's too far, right? So if he's got out and up and he's got in and inside and short medium, Ramsey does, Jamar's just going to attack that spot where nobody is. And the timing, again, as he's hitting this ball is out. And he can go back a click, I think, when Flacco's throwing it now. Bang. It's simple. And they're coming right back to him after these mistakes, right? We had that drop. It's not even a drop. It's a good, well-defensed, hard contested catch ball in the end zone. Ended up being incomplete. That sideline route ended up being incomplete. They came right back to him both times. Let's watch the O-line here. See the protection. Good job by Orlando Brown Jr. here as Highsmith tries to go inside. Brown ends up just saying, okay, I'm going to help push Reisner and Hayward both inside and make sure we wash those guys and give Flacco this angle. And am I putting myself in people that feel confident catching and playing it? Yes, I always felt very good catching the ball myself. So when I'm talking like that as through experience, yeah, I know what I'm talking about there because I feel it in my old ass bones now. Sorry, excuse me. Bleep that for me. Ja'Marr Chase, bottom of the screen, gets a free release. No one with him. We got a deeper drop hanging out. We're really trying to get to the outside here. This is a lot tougher play this time because as you see, as he gets to this point here, it's why he releases inside. He's going to release inside and go out. And he's releasing inside so heavy here because he needs to get Ramsey to at least come in a little bit. If Ramsey just goes here and then turns while Jamar's trying to run his out route, it's going to be a highly contested ball. So Jamar's got to stem it up and then see if he can basically, can I run my out route faster than you can turn and get with me? And I think we know the answer is yes. And it's a good, well-placed ball by Flacco as well. So, like, again, Flacco's throwing it here. He's like, yep, Jamar's running his out. I'm good. Throw it. And Flacco just doesn't throw it because Jamar's cutting here. He doesn't just throw it here. He throws it more here so that Jamar can run and come back to it, which Jamar does a great job of for the first down. I think they actually marked him short here, which I think was crazy. They said it was 8 yards. How wasn't that not 10? He was running at 12. Flacco puts it 2 yards short to help him out. Again, protection. What do we think? Protection was good. There were losses when I watched the film. We're not getting them too many on this tape. But when I did watch it, there were plenty of losses for Rivers again. Jamar, bottom of the screen, off coverage this time. Flacco hits the top of his drop. This looks like an instant replay, and we miss. This time, Flacco misses. Looks like an instant replay. You got to get Ramsey to open up that way, which he does. If you see what I'm saying, let me go back one more click here and just watch Ramsey. Ramsey's even. Now he's opening up that way. Once you do that, I can cross his face and get to the out route. It was there. Jamar was open. Could have had another catch. But Flacco missed. He did have some misses. He does have at times some scatter shot accuracy. It's all picked up up front again, doing their job again. All right, next play. Jamar's out wide again. We've done this before, right? We're bringing Yoshi into motion. Really going to make it look like it's a run. As soon as they do that, though, I don't know if you've noticed. Watch the difference in the Steelers defense once Yoshi comes in motion. Yoshi comes in motion. Watch Ramsey get into the box. He's covering him. But then watch the safety come down. I mean, they've got 8 guys in the box here with 3 deep players. And we're going to instantly flip it out. Right out to Jamar Chase. This is a run play. This is a run. Watch the offensive line. They're all going to run it. So we talk about sometimes Zach doesn't run the ball enough. When you watch the film, both Joes are sometimes saying, just flip it out to Jamar. And I get why. This is a 5-yard gain. And if Jamar made this guy miss, I mean, we've seen this before. What are the odds that Jamar scores if he makes this guy miss here? 75%? Like, is that too high? 50%? He probably goes 70 yards and has that safety one-on-one in the middle of the field like that. Good luck. I would have loved to have seen it. It's a good shot that I think Chase scores on that. Yeah. I don't think 21's getting over there. Good tackle by Slay. Slay gets hurt on that play, misses a little bit of time. He returns eventually. All right, Chase is in the slot, bottom of the screen with T, and you've got Yoshi coming in motion. So you got all 3 receivers to the right now. Play action, little quick fake to Chase Brown. And this is fun because you don't ask superstar receivers to do this too much, but hey, get a chip and then release. And anytime you get a chip, I think defenses just forget about you. That's why so many tight ends and running backs and sometimes slot receivers just open underneath, because defenses are, at this point, they're dropping into coverage. They're dropping way back. And you're leaving so much space for Jamar that, hey, just turn, flip it to him. We'll pick up 3. Maybe he can make someone miss. Maybe he can do something. Feels like more than 3. But it was 3 because the marker was right there. Second down. Watch Jamar on this to our right. Watch him get a piece of Highsmith. Not an easy thing to do. I want to go back in here, watch Mims versus Watt. I appreciate Watt. I think he might be losing a step. He's still a really good player. But the thing I want to show is like how much of a dance it is sometimes. He tries to swipe that arm down. Doesn't work. But watch right here. They're gonna end up grasping hands together. They're gonna be clapping hands. And that's really an advantage for Watt. If he can keep your hands as the offensive lineman off of him, he's winning. And so his other hand is in the chest, and they're making hearts over their heads. They're over each other's heads like this. Watch what that does. Is really he just takes his arm and flips it underneath him while he runs this arc and dips around. Hand almost touches the ground and gets to Flacco. Everything here is really good from Watt. I hate this part of Watt's game right here. He just gator rolls. He tries to stay on guys a little too long. He tries to do a little bit too much after he makes contact. I don't like it. Typical Steeler stuff. Flacco checking out of that play there, getting in the shotgun. He was under center. Jamar's at the bottom. He is now. This got to be the second half because he wasn't wearing orange like this before. He changes cleats and gloves. We got a press situation with Slay and just beats him to the inside. Easy pickings. Easy stuff. I think Flacco must see this and say, okay, we've got a blitz coming. I'm going to be middle of the field open, easy on Jamar, and I can just hit my back foot and throw that slant for an easy, 16-yard gain? I couldn't believe how the Steelers were playing the Bengals when I watched the tape. I thought he was beating doubles all day long. They weren't really doubling him. They were just sending the blitz more often, and the Bengals were picking it up pretty well, and Flacco was seeing what was happening. I like this now. We saw the battle between Mims and Watt just a second ago where Watt had his hand really good by him. As Watt goes for the long arm, watch Mims knock it down. And once he did that and Mims is still in motion, he's clean. Like, he can do whatever he wants to him. Watt is going down. So really good block. That's a good back and forth battle right there. I think it's going to look really fun. It's already, to me, on tape, probably the most fun I can watch Mims, I think, has been versus Watt the last couple of years. Just because I think at this point, they're very comparable athletes relative to their positions. And the technique for Watt is so great, and the effort from Watt is so great that Mims almost has to match it and bring his effort up in those games. He can't not. He has to play with a high motor, or else Watt's going to eventually beat you. So it's fun to watch because Mims has answered that call, and which I like. All right, we got all the way to the outside here. So I don't know if you noticed, but this is Chase Brown, Drew Sample, Noah Fant. So this is your 12 personnel, and Chase is out here, and T is in the slot. So mixing it up personnel-wise, using the same personnel, I should say, mixing it up where they're formationally lined up. And Flacco looks left initially and then comes back right to the slant. Very similar to earlier, how I want to have these guys almost rub. We're going to have outside releases while we pull Jamar underneath. So watch it, see if these guys get a piece. Fant's trying to get a piece without actually touching them. Just slow them down a little bit. And then inside to Jamar. Perfect job, Noah Fant. Way to not get called for it by not touching the guy. Just slow him down enough. Get him to take a step enough. Flacco coming back, hitting Jamar Chase over the middle for a big gain of 14. Watch the offensive line here and Flacco. As you can see, because Flacco's got to look one way and then come back the other. It really helps sell this. And they're sending 5, so the O-line's got to pick it up. And they do. And it's Jamar after the catch. Reisner, I don't know if you saw him pick him up there. Reisner was running down the field after every play. He was excited. He was amped up. And I dig it. All right, 11 personnel. 1 tight end, 1 running back. This being Noah Fant. Jamar's out here with Darius Slay up in a press situation, but Jamar's off the line just a little bit. And we're under center. And we got an inside slant. I mean, he's not even really doing anything crazy off the line either. Slay's just so flat-footed and not actually pressing. Like, if you're going to press, go press. These guys are scared to get beat. Sometimes when you watch these corners, either they bail out of there so quickly. So they were off coverage in the first half, and now they're like, let's get up and press them a little bit. And now they're scared to put a hand on them, because if they do and they miss, that's it. You're done for. Instead, they'll give up 10-yard gains all day long. If you're wondering why Jamar had like 16 catches for 160-something yards, they were 10-yard, just constant, cover me, and they couldn't run with them. Most guys aren't as quick as Jamar, aren't as physical as Jamar, and his route running is some of the best in the league now. I know some people don't believe it is because they look like separation numbers. That is a result and a function of this offensive scheme. It is not a reflection of Jamar's ability to run routes. All right, so I think, again, we have a run play here. We've got an RPO or a packaged play. Package play is different from an RPO because I have a run play built in and I have a pass play built in. An RPO actually reads a defender, and if he moves this way, then I'm going to throw it out that way. If he moves that way, then I'm going to hand it off. I think this is more of a package play. I don't know if Flacco's reading anyone. And if he is, he's doing it real quickly. Maybe that's the difference. And then flipping it out to Jamar here. So we've got a chance to hand the ball off. You're wondering, we need more runs. We've got 3 or 4 of these now. This might be number 4. Flip it out to Jamar. Nice catch because that ball was low. And just dances around Yoshi getting his extended block there. Picking up 5. So again, if we pick up 5 yards on a run play, we'll take it. End zone angle here as we're going to show this run play. Pull it out. Let's watch what it does to those linebackers. I mean, everyone is sucked up into that thing. Flip it out. Jamar just trying to split the 2 defenders as best as he can. Gain of 5. It's one of the best receivers after the catch. We know this. So for him to pick up 5 there, it doesn't have to be some explosive, crazy play all the time. But we get Jamar in the slot here. Yoshi's the most inward slot guy. Noah Fant is all the way wide. And then T. Higgins at the top of the screen. We're looking like pressing man situation. If you were to guess, let's see if the Steelers stick with it. And it's a cover 2. And Jamar's going to cut underneath and hook up. The fun part about this is that linebacker is supposed to be this Tampa 2 linebacker and get down there. Yoshi screams down the middle of the field. You could have had Yoshi on this if you wanted. He might score. You could throw it right over that guy's shoulder or head, and he's never going to lift his arms up and touch it. You could just lay it right over him. But Jamar's going to catch it, bounce off 1, make another guy miss, spin through another, and pick up 14 yards on a play that probably should have gained 5 again. But again, when you're really good after the catch, you turn 5 into 14 very easily. Let's watch the pocket and Flacco here as he gets this. Just such quick processing that he's thinking, because this linebacker here should be here. He's supposed to run and stay on top of the vertical inside receiver. And so if he was here, Jamar probably catches this and gains a big gain too. So I understand Flacco's processing here, because he did have other plays like that deep one to Yoshi that he caught where he recognized what was happening and then went to the secondary or third option. But here he was just, they were in rhythm. They were feeling it. They were timing. Mims is feeling it right now, and I wonder why. So I'm going to go back. He's just feeling good. Orlando Brown's feeling good too, over top of his guy. Oh, he slipped. Yeah, so he's going to make him pay for it. Yep, the O-line was just feeling it, man. Dalton Risner, first guy down there. He's on social media. He knows when we're talking about this. So I need to say something. I need to make a clip. Dalton Risner was running down the field, and we appreciate it. Where's Jamar? Oh, completely in the slot. Tight in the slot. Right here. We got Noah Fant right here. We got Drew Sample out here. So we're going to bring your guys out. Bring your best out. Give me a linebacker on Jamar because of the formation. So it's a good way to get Jamar the advantageous situation. Just hook up underneath. Bang, we'll take another one. And this one was a drop. So very similar play. I think they understand they're going to rotate into a very similar coverage. Like if we are processing this fully and seeing the full field here, you probably could get this linebacker to jump on Jamar and then you hit Noah Fant for an easy completion. But again, when you're feeling it and having one of those days, just keep throwing to Jamar Chase and see if they could stop it and when and if they can ever stop it. Surprisingly, this was dropped by Jamar right off his chest. Flacco has a tendency to do this. He throws his trajectory, like these balls go directly over the helmets. I mean, there's like 6 inches over top of Dalton Risner's head. And I think sometimes if we saw the drop, well, we saw the one that Jamar couldn't get over the middle. We didn't see the Yoshi one and the Chase Brown one where he's coming over and hooking up over the middle. All those were hard for the receivers to get a hold of and see. And we've seen an uptick in drops from the receivers since Joe got here. And he throws a lot of velocity, a lot of RPMs, and guys are always flying right above or in around where that ball comes out. And I think sometimes it's hard. Any flash, again, talk about as if I played receiver, but any flash as a receiver across your face makes your eyes readjust and relocate the ball. So it's tough sometimes through traffic, and Jamar dropped that one. Under center, no play action pass. What? Jamar Chase at the top of the screen. Just running with a outside release, looks back, says, okay, I've got this guy on top of me. He's probably thinking back shoulder throw. Instead, Flacco lays it out there. And I thought this was pass interference. So when the Steelers fans are complaining about the actual calls, there were some non-calls here because you've got Jamar's other arm pinned down. And he almost made a one-handed catch. This would have turned this, like some of these catches that Jamar didn't make, the almost catches that we've seen, would have turned this game into a absolute insane performance. It already was, but it would have been bananas. Look at the placement on that. That thing landed there. If Jamar had 2 hands, we'd be in good shape. I think he had an IV. He didn't have that strap on his forearm earlier, did he? Maybe not. Anyways, 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, Jamar condensed and T condensed, again, which means we're bringing them closer. They're not just lined up all the way out here. It gives you advantages. It makes that corner have to come off. You see on both sides, where's the corner for them? Off and outside. That's how you beat man coverage. Oh, this is such a good route by Jamar. This is such a good route by Jamar. And Jamar is really, so we got off coverage here. And the guy is outside shade. So if you're the DB, it's because I feel like I have inside help. And when you're off like this and in this position, I have to think this receiver, if he has any freedom, is going to go inside. And Jamar has freedom. So as you watch here, he's got to get around. This right here really makes it look like when you dip around that second level defender, you really make it look like you're going inside. So this is body language and head positioning, eyes. Look where his eyes are. Look where Jamar's eyes are as he's coming around. And look what it's doing to this. So this guy's supposed to stay out here. Look what it's doing to him. He's drifting in with him. He's thinking he's definitely running inside. He's got to be running inside. Look, everything's showing me he's running inside. Jamar snaps it off, breaks it out, and now the separation here. We've got 4 yards of separation. If that ball's on time, bang, it's a completion, right? So this is not going to be a catch. We had a guy in Flacco's face. He's got to float it a little bit as he fades away and spins away from Cam Hayward. But man, what a route. So let's watch what happened here with Hayward. This might be the first one we've had pressure on Flacco that we've got to dissect a little bit on these throws to Jamar. And it's Reisner versus Hayward. Reisner's just going to overextend a little bit. Hayward's going to pull down that outside shoulder. Reisner tries to recover and just get a piece of him. And maybe getting a piece of him is what saves us from being a sack. Just getting that little bit of shoulder in him while he's getting around. But the pressure is why this ball isn't completed and potentially intercepted. Now, if that was 2 feet more inside, that might get picked off. So, all right, we got Jamar at the bottom of the screen, all the way outside this time. And he's running an out route. We're flipping it. We've done it so many times the other way that as soon as this corner is facing inwards, and I'll be honest, he's lined up a little bit inwards. Because we ended up with 2 deep safeties. It's a middle field open defense. Maybe he's thinking this is no way this ball's going outside. And Jamar just turns it out. Ball is out at the right time. Look at the timing on this. Flacco is deciding to throw now. Jamar's just now hitting that first foot to turn. Bang. Easy money. 15-yard gain. It's almost looking procedural at this point, and Flacco hasn't even been there for 10 days at this moment. See on the O-line, because you got to hold it a little bit longer here. Let's see what they do. Everyone looks good about right there. Yep. Clean pocket. Ball out. Procedural. We got to get to a defensive film review eventually here. I did that, a lot of it on Twitter for subscribers at Joe Goodberry if you're interested in going deeper. T. Higgins in motion. Jamar condensed at the top of the screen. And a little delayed release coming across the middle. Again, what did I say earlier? We're making it look like potential here to swing this out. Watch Patrick Queen. He stinks. The dude sucks. Like, I would not trade Demetrius Knight or Barrett Carter for Patrick Queen. And I don't love what's going on with the rookie linebackers, but Patrick Queen's a finished product. Look at him. Look at these guys. And I get they're playing man, right? They got to be underneath playing man. But then who is covering Jamar? This guy? Is that Ramsey? Because Ramsey don't make those type of mistakes. He's looking like, which one of you guys were going to take him? Excuse me. I mean, this is a high leverage situation. The Bengals are trying to drive down the field to win the game. And you leave the guy who's got 20 targets wide open, don't even cover him? I don't think anybody wants to be the guy to give it up late in the game to Jamar Chase after he's been making you all his son all night long. So, let's just not cover him. But these linebackers, I know you got to go play man. They're pointing. They're confused. That's part of the confusion, I think, is that these guys for the Steelers defense don't have great communication right now. Queen is confused. You're the middle linebacker, dog. 21 had to tell him to go over to cover 86, and then you jump on him because you're freaking out. I mean, not a great process. So let's look at the offensive line real quick. Reisner ends up on the ground. I can't tell if he gets stepped on. He's just in an awkward situation. Ends up getting picked up or just saved by Rivers. Flacco does just a little bit. And that ball comes out to Jamar. I actually thought he should have tried to stay in bounds at this point. I think it was just on the north side of the 2-minute warning, if I remember correctly. That's the last catch he gets in a dominant performance. Just fantastic. Let's talk about it a little bit. So Jamar has one of those games on national TV, on primetime, for the world to see, where they go, I live in Buffalo, so the instant reaction for people that, we don't have Jamar. And it's yeah, you do not. But I saw people well, yeah, Diggs, that was cool for 3-4 years, whatever it was. And I'm yeah, still not Jamar. Still not that level. I had a Steelers fan go, F you guys for paying both of them, T and Jamar, because what are you going to do? So at the very least, this is why I was such an advocate for trading for a quarterback and why I was so adamant about it, because I didn't want to waste the season. It was still too early. Yeah, I want a top 5 pick whenever I can. I love the draft. But at the same time, Jamar could still go for 1,500 yards this year and 120 catches. Like, he's in his prime. You want to waste a prime year? I don't. T is now on pace to at least have 700 and something yards. Like, fine, let's get them. And I think T is going to end up with more if the offense starts humming around this time, guys. It's no shock. I hate that it takes 5 weeks plus for Zach Taylor to figure out his offense. But every time he does, every season, even counting the bad years, 2019, 2020, 2023 with a backup, 2025 with a backup, after week 6, this offense is a top 5 offense in the league based on the numbers after week 6, including no, that's from 2021. They're 8th best. They're top 10, including those years. They're 5th best if you go from 2021 to 2025. It's a good offense, and they're figuring it out. And if Flacco can stay on time, and if they can beat these teams coming up, they'll have a shot. And that's all I want. I just want a shot. I want to be entertained, and I want them to have a chance. And we're getting that right now. Jets this week, chance to go 4-4. Ring of Honor game. Dave Lapham, shout out to him, my colleague with my partner with First Star Logistics, who's been taking care of us. I might be out there. I'm going to keep you updated on that. I need to look at some scheduling things and see if I can move some things. But First Star was like, hey, we're flying you out if you want to be there. So, they take care of me. And that's why I'm happy to be with them. Make sure you give our preview show, Jake and Joe preview show, a watch. And our post-game shows. Post-game shows do well. You guys are excited or angry to talk, and you flood those. Join in on the discussion there. The chat there is insane. Just goes. You can just make an episode just off the chat and just chill with the people and hang out and talk. But the preview show, we are showing what the opponent looks like, tendencies, some advanced numbers at times, some matchups. We've got clips that we like, things to look out for. We nailed a lot of this Steelers stuff, and a lot of it we start the show with the conversation of what to expect, and then we get into matchups and advanced takes and data throughout the episode. Make sure you give those a shot. I know they're Friday mornings typically, so expect that this Friday will be the next time you see me, and then the post-game show for the Jets and Bengals. We'll figure that one out, whether I'm in Cincinnati or not. Either way, stick with us. Stick with First Star Logistics on the media YouTube media channel. Did I get that right? End the show, Joe. Get out of here. Until next time. Hoo-day.